Journalism is one of the most potent tools we have. It's important for people to be able to get reliable information, and as a team of journalists, your hard work can be rewarded with the highest honor of all, the Pulitzer, which is designed by David Vaquero and published by Tronquise Games, who sponsored this video. Hey everyone, I'm Mike Murphy of the Brothers Murph, and I'm here with BoardGameGeek.com. Well, I've got a lead to chase down, so let's get this game down to the table and go a little more in focus on Pulitzer. In Pulitzer, each player will be leading a team of journalists as you attempt to gain prestige, find valuable evidence, and expand the reach of your newspaper to score the most points and win the famed prize. Players will be tracking the evidence as they gain on a board where you use string to connect the dots of the most important stories of the day. The game will be played over 8 rounds, and each round will be broken up into a placement and resolution phase. During the placement phase, players will go around the table either placing a journalist face down in the various areas of the board or placing a request token in the newspaper area. When placing a journalist, you will place them face down. Each journalist has a different strength representing their experience on the job. In general, higher value journalists will gain greater benefits and priority over lower level journalists. There are several areas on the board to place your journalists. At the bottom of the board is the kiosk. Here you can gain money instantly when placing a journalist based on the values shown on the news card. During the resolution phase, each column and row will be resolved, with the columns giving bonuses to the player with the most cumulative value of journalists and rows granting houses to the player with the most strength of their journalists. This represents your reach expanding and will gain you points at the end of the game for each house you have. Next is the report area, and this will be broken down into the archive and buses area. Taking a ride on the bus is a great opportunity to gain new evidences. The further right you place your journalist, the more money you must pay, but the greater the potential reward. Sending journalists to the archive will help boost the actions of the journalists on the buses. When resolving the archive, reveal all journalists, and the highest value journalist gets placed first, and will add an evidence card and investigation line card to the other cards you would gain from your bus action. The next 2 highest journalists placed will also boost the actions of their journalists on the buses. When resolving buses, gain cards on the space you occupy plus any bonus cards awarded from the archive. There are 2 types of cards. Evidence cards will show symbols pertaining to various spaces on your report board. This represents the types of evidence you gain and are reporting on. The investigation line cards will pertain to the various columns on your report board, which is at the heart of your game. Each player is given a report card which shows certain spaces highlighted, which represents your focus and will award you points for finding evidence that fits your highlighted spaces. To claim a space, you must pair an evidence and an investigation line card. You have a string and pins, and you must have room for your string to reach, and you will then place a pin in the evidence space you can reach based on the strength of the journalist on the bus space. All found evidence will award 3, 5, or 10 points at the end of the game. Note that in the investigation mode of the game, you must find at least 5 pieces of highlighted evidence in order to participate in final scoring at all. Also note that some investigation line cards show more information, gaining you flexibility. However, they require you to destroy evidence which cannot be gained later in the game. The last area you can place journalists is in the overtime area. This represents your journalists doing TV appearances, gaining new evidence and witness statements, and more, and the 3 highest value journalists can claim 1 overtime card, gaining its effects. The newspaper is where your request markers can be used. These will gain you various benefits such as a +2 value token, which can be placed under your journalist to give them a higher value. The editing room gives you a token allowing you to place 2 journalists in a row in the future, and going to HR gives you an extra journalist whose strength can grow throughout the game. At the end of each round, first player shifts and new cards come out, and it'll once again be time to send your journalists out into the world in search of the truth. After 8 rounds, the game will end. Players will receive points for the evidence gathered on the report board, the strength of the journalist from visiting HR, and from the reach of your team. For each house you have, you'll gain 3 points. If you have the most of a color, you'll gain a bonus 5 points, and each set of all color houses will gain you 10 bonus points, and the player with the most points wins. In Pulitzer, it will be important to focus your priorities so you send the right journalists to the right area. If you don't send strong enough journalists, however, you may wind up missing out on important actions, so make your decisions wisely, and don't forget to make requests at the newspaper for help. And if Pulitzer seems like a game you'd enjoy, be sure to check out its page at BoardGameGeek.com. And until next time, I'm Mike Murphy, and we've been going in focus on Pulitzer. Have a great day.